And that takes us there. And then I turn off studio mode. And I can stop this music. Even though I like to listen to Eternia City in my ear as I stream. What's up, everyone? Welcome. Oh, I don't even know what episode this is. This is why we don't do this stuff live.
216.
16th episode of the Pokemon podcast, live on Twitch here. And this is not like the normal routine here. Last week we did it because I was out of town. This week we're doing it just because of the sun and moon news that broke. My name is SBJ. I am your host. On my left is the Travis W. I don't know why, because I see your Twitter handle below your face. Travis is here with us.
So, I thought everything was gonna. So I'm gonna bring our listeners back to when Gen 6 was announced and the starters were revealed. And Froakie was the obviously best one, but Will was like, "Oh, it's Croaky. It's gonna evolve into a ghost. Froakie's terrible. Chespin is..." Or no, you liked Fennekin, didn't you? Regardless, you liked one of the wrong ones. But then, I got my hopes up that we would be able to put these things beside and move on with this new generation because we both saw Rowlet and realized, yeah, that's the right one. And we'll get to that later. But now you change your Twitter picture to Popplio.
Yeah.
Is that how we're saying its name? That sounds right.
Popplio. I say Popplio. Because lion, Popplio.
Oh, maybe. Well, I don't know. Either way, it's an abomination. And like, I thought we were going to be like teammates this time, but I guess we're still going to be mortal enemies in Gen 7.
Well, I mean, you want to be lamestream. I want to be cool and hip. And Popplio is the cool and hip way to go. So
it's not Rowlet's fault. It's the objectively better one, so more people like it.
Yeah, so is 21 Pilots.
What? Our 21 Pilot expert, Will, is also here for those listening to the only audio version.
I'm only an expert in putting down 21 Pilots and their overplayed, overhyped lack of imagination.
21 Popplio.
No. 21 Rowlets.
Popplio. Is that... Well, if you...
I keep saying Popplio. That's how it's written, but I guess it's a sea lion Popplio. Yeah. That's weird.
And of course, my mom was like, "Oh, I like that one because it's like a puppy." And she thought it was a dog. She literally didn't look at it close enough to realize it wasn't a dog.
Well, let's just jump right into things. What is today? Thursday? On Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Tuesday? Yeah. I'm very off on dates here. On Tuesday, Pokemon announced their starters, which they seem to do every May. Actually, going back on my Facebook timeline 3 years ago was when we got the X and Y stuff, and then before that, I think Diamond and Pearl was also announced in May, but I don't remember that period as well as the X and Y period.
Those were the dark years.
We're not talking about Ruby and Sapphire here.
Wait. So, but Ruby and Sapphire, you said Diamond and Pearl. I'm confused by your timeline.
Definitely.
Continue.
I don't remember Diamond and Pearl that well, but Diamond and Pearl is way better than Ruby and Sapphire. Let's just...
Right. Yes. Correct.
Yeah. So they showed their starters here, and I like being right on the show. I like to throw that in people's faces.
I'm sorry that doesn't happen so often.
It happens very rarely. I was very confident that the names I read off last week with Micah, when Travis wasn't here, with Micah and Will, I was fairly confident those names were not going to be the English names because I butcher every Pokemon name, but those names were very hard to say. And we did get new names, but what people speculated, the animals that these Pokemon are based on, or some being inanimate objects like Vanillux, the animals that people speculated were pretty close to right. We'll start with Litten first, which is the fire cat Pokemon.
Why would you start with the worst of them all?
What?
At least we can agree on that.
Yeah.
I have some fighting words here. I'll read the description
We have some firefighting words here.
that the Pokemon Company has provided. The cool-headed Firecat Pokemon Litten is the next choice for a first partner Pokemon. Next choice, probably because I mixed up the order here. Litten's fur is rich in oils and is immensely flammable. It constantly grooms itself by licking its coat, collecting loose fur into balls. It then ignites these hairballs to create fireball attacks. When the time comes for a Litten to molt, it burns off all of its fur in one glorious blaze.
Cats don't molt.
Well,
That's disgusting.
this one does. It's
Oh,
starting.
it's also greasy.
It's starting with this Ember. It's just a plain fire type, and yeah, we'll get to all of these in a second here. We'll just kind of go through. The second one I have on the list is Popplio, the Pope of Pope Town, Popplio.
What does that even mean?
The Popo, the Pop.
You know, Vatican City, Pope Town.
He's the Pope of Pope Town. He's the Pope of Popes.
It is the Sea Lion Pokemon. Straight water, starting move, water gun. The third possibility is the. This is me not turning off my text messages.
Shameful.
Is a sea lion Pokemon, Popplio. Popplio can create balloons made of water from its nose and utilize them to create a variety of different strategies and attacks in battle. This Pokemon is better at moving in the water than on land. It can swim at speeds over 25 miles per hour. That is American for those listening. On land, it uses the elasticity of its balloons to perform jumps and acrobatic stunts.
See, its name is just here's the magic. Its name is very similar to Squirtle, right? Because Squirtle is a squirrel and a turtle that squirts, and Popplio is a puppy and a sea lion that pops balloons. It's perfect.
Is Squirtle supposed to be a squirrel?
It's got a squirrel tail, dude.
Yeah, its tail is a squirrel tail. For sure.
I guess I never made that connection. I just thought it was squirt because it squirted and it was a turtle.
Yeah.
It's a squirrel and a turtle and it squirts.
I mean, okay. We'll get back to all these. We'll go in depth with said Pokemon. The last one is
apparently we need to go in depth with Gen 1 Pokemon because all of these names are new to me. Squirt what?
The last one is Rowlet. Is that how we're saying it? Rowlet?
I think so, yeah.
Well,
I think it's an owlet, so Rowlet.
Okay.
It's a round owlet.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
His name was Charlie.
I suppose the round would make sense. It is the grass quill Pokemon. Not to derail here, but isn't Quidillion a quill Pokemon?
Quilladin?
I'm getting there.
Oh, Travis, pull that up. It is a grass flying type Pokemon. If I'm not mistaken, it is the first dual type since Bulbasaur.
Of at least a first stage.
Right,
starter.
That's what I mean. First stage starter, because I think Torchic was just pure fire, even though it turned into a abomination of a fighting Pokemon.
Quilladin was the spiny armor Pokemon.
Okay.
It's not gone.
Rowlet is the first of... Oh, okay. Again, I got these out of orders. Rowlet, this Pokemon can fly silently throughout the sky, sneaking up on its opponent without being noticed. It can attack its opponents using powerful kicks, and it has no legs. Powerful kicks, and it can also attack from a distance using its razor-sharp leaves that form parts of its feathers. Rowlet can survey its environment and turn its neck nearly 180 degrees from 180 degrees American for those measuring. From front to back, it can also see directly behind itself when in battle. Rowlet turns its head to face its trainer when waiting for instructions. There you go.
What's cool about that is that there are species of owls that will sneak up on prey and then
Eat them?
yeah, well, I mean that's like what everything does, but specifically there's some species of owl that sneak behind prey and then like slam into the back of the head uh of either prey or things that are threatening to them, like they do it to people sometimes, and it like will knock out the thing. And so I think that's what they're supposed to be showing with Rowlet kicking really hard.
That's a lot of assumption, but sure. Gross.
Because I think they kick. I think that those owls do it by kicking too.
Did you see the gif of the owl eating the rabbit?
You mean the Rattata?
No.
No, it's just like a lopunny. An owl eating a lopunny. It's super gross. Because you only see the back half of the lopunny.
I'll pass.
And let me post it in the chat.
Don't.
No.
It'll probably deny you because of the link.
Not that chat, the Skype chat. So only you guys can see the horror.
Don't do this thing.
Well, if you post it in the Twitch chat, I'm sure Drew can approve it. Drew is hanging out.
But Drew should not approve it. Talking about...
Let's go in depth with these Pokemon. Where do you guys want? Do you just want to get Rowlet out of the way? I feel like Rowlet.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Well, before we do that, I ran a poll on our Twitter. Which Pokemon Sun and Moon starter is for you? With 407 votes, Litten got 37%. Rowlet got 45%. And if you're counting American percentages, Popplio got 18%.
Oh, man. Cool Popplio. Popplio. Popplio.
So I feel like there's a one Pokemon in every generation that kind of gets left behind. I think we can all agree that Bulbasaur was that in Generation 1. Turtwig was that in Generation 3, I feel.
Turtwig was a 4th gen starter.
Oh, 4th gen, sorry. Woo! They run a Pokemon podcast. Popplio seems to be the one left out here. But I would argue, though, that last generation X and Y.
6,
they all kind of had a really good balance. But even before that, Generation 5, I feel like Snivy was the one kind of left out.
Yeah, nobody wanted a Snivy.
So,
but I feel like I think you're definitely right on that. Gen 6 was pretty. The starters were pretty equal in popularity. Like I really liked Froakie. A lot of people really liked Chespin. But then also a lot of people really liked Fennekin.
Yep.
So I think they each had their like strong fan bases. And I think Gen 5 was similar. I don't think that many people hated Snivy as much as like, no one picks Chikorita in Gen 2, for example.
right.
Yeah. Like I like Chikorita a lot. It's probably my favorite of those 3, but I know a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah, I liked Chikorita too. My first impressions when I slept in, I knew the Pokemon news was coming. I wasn't like eager or like I need to wake up for this because I mean, Pokemon Podcast is not the first to deliver news, and it's fine. Like we've gotten past that. Not the first to deliver news, but we're here to like talk about it, which is more than okay, this website posted the news. You're done. We're here to talk about it. We're here to continue talking about it. That's what we do. I didn't rush to post the news, so I woke up to a bunch of tweets and everything, and the Slack community very like as soon as I started tweeting, like the Slack community was like, SBJ is tweeting, which was cool. Like, yeah. But
after I texted you and I was like, dude, what's up?
I was sleeping, man. Okay, so breaking news, Pokemon Podcast, not the first to deliver. So I woke up to Irene texting me that there was a cat starter Pokemon, and I was both excited like a kid on Christmas because I love cats. I have 3 of them here at my house. But I was also super scared because when I think of cat Pokemon, I think of Purugly. And I know people like Purugly. But Purugly is not for me.
Who likes Purugly?
David
I know
Thomas.
David really likes Perugly. I think Perugly's cool.
Yeah, well, as a cat lover, you like and don't like certain types of cats. Like I don't like naked cats or those like hairless cats, whatever they're called. And I know people
The
love those.
Rexes or whatever.
So if I was like, oh man, if the starter Pokemon's a naked cat, I'm sure people would flip out because people like those, but I don't. And like Perugly fits.
Why don't they have one of those? Why don't they have like a Rex cat Pokemon? That'd be awesome.
like a little Egyptian theme I think of when I think of those kind of cats. But
Yeah, I could think like a ground type.
yeah, so when I saw Litten, I think the name is awesome, even though some people were complaining that it's close to Litleo. And then
Oh yeah, Greg is telling me it's Sphinx cat, not Rex cat. It was a different. What is a Isn't a Rex cat something too? Whatever.
I mean, I love cats, but I don't know my lore on cats. Litten, obviously kitten, lit, fire. I don't know if there's any other puns in that name at all. Some people were upset that I saw that Litten was very close to Litleo, and that not only in names, but like Litleo evolves into a lion. Lions are based on cats. This is another cat.
Lions are based on cats. The real life animal, lion, was
Breaking news.
created based like cats were so big
that they came up with lions after that.
Wait, how are we gonna top this with cat 2 lion?
My guess, based on Litten's design, is that Litten will evolve into more of a tiger than a lion. We kind of have 3 lions at this point. We have Entei, we have Pyroar, and we have that new one, which does not have a name. We don't have any tiger Pokemon, and tigers are very different than cats. When I was a kid, I always thought tigers were the female lions, but
they could do that, actually. I think it actually works.
Yeah, ligers. Everyone was like losing their minds over it when what is that movie? The one about the vote for Pedro or whatever. What's that movie?
Yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah, Napoleon Dynamite. He talks about a liger for like 10 minutes. That movie's so boring.
Really? Oh, no.
What is the black cat called?
Litten.
Unlucky.
No. The big black one.
The big black one. Persian?
Like it's up there with
Panther.
lions and tigers. Panther.
Oh, you mean like real life?
That's what Litten is gonna be.
I can see that, but the markings on Litten are kind of evocative of tiger stripes.
Yeah. The other people are speculating that Litten will be fire dark. I mean,
I can see that.
It's black. A lot of cats are black. I think.
It's got that nasty look in its eye. It's like.
I mean, it has like the stereotypical like I'm a smug cat look, and I don't care.
Yeah, but like Esper didn't look smug, and that's a cat.
Yeah, but Esper was like the derpy. Like Esper was like meme cat. Like to me, this is like stereotypical like black cat.
Mm-hmm.
We can come back to that if we have more thoughts on Litten. Let's do Rowlet here. Obviously the most popular. The Charmander of Generation 7, clearly.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of... This might be the most popular grass starter of all time at this point.
Even more than Chespin?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, just in terms of like our poll is not really representative because our poll is of people that are already definitely into Pokemon, because why would they be following us if they weren't? That's what they like. But like anyone who has any kind of close relationship to Pokemon might follow the Pokemon Twitter account. And I think on their poll, Rowlet was like slightly ahead of Litten, as opposed to ours where it was a bigger margin.
Polygon also ran a poll. Obviously, that's just a general video game website, and
Yeah.
their percentages matched our percentages pretty closely.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would assume the Pokemon Twitter would have more of a even tie.
I'll pull up those numbers so that I'm not just throwing it out there.
Okay.
So I remember.
I didn't mention this, but Rowlet's starting move is Leafage, which I believe is a brand new move.
That is correct. Translates as this leaf in Japanese, from the Japanese.
Okay.
Not that leaf.
Or that leaf. I thought it was this leaf.
I said not that leaf because it's this. It's sort of the joke I was making.
So, again,
No.
my first impressions was I looked at Litten. I was not disappointed with what I saw. I looked at Rowlet. I was like, wow, that looks really cool. Like, I actually didn't see the leaf bow tie at first until somebody pointed it out. And I saw Popplio, Popo, and I was like, it's fine. And I moved on, and I'll get back to that in a second. But the amount of memes or internet GIFs and, well, I guess you can't have GIFs off the internet. Breaking news.
Maybe you can't have
GIFs
gifts
are
off the
exclusive to
internet,
the
but I can.
I was just surprised how much momentum came behind Rowlet so fast. And that's not a bad thing. Again, like I'm actually happy that like a grass starter's getting a lot of attention because I feel like the grass starters are the ones that are forgotten about.
In the flying type starter?
And I'll throw it to you guys before I share my opinions, but obviously I think both of you guys are on Team Rowlet, right?
I'm undecided. I mean, I really like that Popplio. Just because that little animation they showed, and he just like stands up and he like has this like proud smile on his face, and then he's like, I'm gonna squirt at you, and like, and it's real cute.
I would like Rowlet is my definite favorite. I would like Popplio more, but it's probably just me, but there's something weird to me about how Popplio's snout is like perfectly conical. I realize it's supposed to sort of be evoking like a party hat or whatever, or like I don't know, just the fact that sea lions in like shows will like carry balls on their noses or whatever.
Yeah,
but
that's what it is.
But it like when it's not moving and you can't see how it relates to the rest of its head, it looks like that's where its face is, and all of its face is there, and its nostrils are its eyes, and it confuses me, and so then therefore it looks like an abomination to me, and I don't like it.
Wow.
I think what doesn't do.
I realize it's just me, and I realize it's a really good thing to say, but
no, I think you're right to some extent. I think what doesn't do Popplio justice is its perspective. Like, if you look at just its fins in the basic picture, it looks like that it was drawn just quickly or poorly. And like you look at Rowlet, and at least in the default images I'm talking about, you look at Rowlet and he's round, he's like compact, he's cute, he has the shading, like you get everything in one. Like you get that cute ball package. And then you look at Litten and he's like drawn out as a cat. He has that cat perspective. And then you look at Popplio, which is a combination of a sea lion and a puppy, and you're like, I kind of see the puppy and I kind of see the sea lion, but like, what's going on with its mermaid tail? Like, it just doesn't.
No, it's a clown.
It just doesn't, like, his like lower half of his body just doesn't look finished. And if you look at Popplio in other pictures, he actually looks a lot better than like the standard PNG picture that Pokemon provided everyone.
Yes, PNG, a file format.
Those only
can we
also exist on the internet, PNGs.
Maybe in your internet. Can you explain what you meant about Rowlet shaving? What?
Like his like shading.
I must have zoned out because I was not paying attention to that.
His like shading in his picture, like from his bow tie below, it's darker, and it gives you like a sense of him being more round. And that's what I mean. Like with it's just like more design. It's just the perspective that they drew Popplio at. I think doesn't do it justice.
To I realize I'm going backwards, but I was talking about Pokemon's poll earlier. The numbers there are 41% Rowlet, 38% Litten, 21% Popplio. So the difference between Rowlet and Litten was only 3%.
Okay. And Popplio had a little bit more because I think our poll was 18%. Yeah, so Popplio, obviously the odd man out here, even Polygon. I don't know why we're bringing up Polygon a lot. Well, it's just me. They did a whole article about the starter Pokemon, and like they asked everyone that worked at
At Popplio.
Polygon.
My plan is working.
what
Everyone's
their-
going to love Popplio.
what their favorites was, and they pulled it up in Rowlet won, but I think only one or two people said Popplio, and it was just like, look at Popplio, he's just the joke of this generation. And if you look at, I hope that's not the case. And it's funny because when you look at X and Y, I was so team Chespin until I saw Chestnut, and then until I saw Delphox, and all of a sudden, like after I saw Delphox, I was like, no, Fennekin 100%. And I just, not that I'm like rooting for a specific Pokemon this generation, but I just hope that the final evolutions don't like ruin the image that we're seeing now. Like Popplio, I don't think could get any worse.
Oh, it could get worse.
You say that now.
Did you see the internet art of Popplio turning into a Juggalo?
No, it seems
And did
terrible.
you know how difficult it was for me to have to explain to my coworkers what a Juggalo is because they had never heard of such a thing? Oh,
I'm from Michigan, so that I live in their home turf.
you probably have Fago in your refrigerator right now.
I don't, because I don't really drink pop, but if I did, I probably would have Fago.
You don't really drink soda?
I'm from Michigan. I don't know if you forgot that.
No.
Don't
No,
say
no.
soda.
No bueno.
He doesn't want to upset the Juggalos, man.
No one wants to upset the poor Juggalos.
You know, like, I actually like don't really know that much about what Juggalos care about. So, do Juggalos listen to this show? Are there any like?
Travis,
I
we
want to
appeal
know
to
if there are
everyone.
any Juggalo. I want to know if there are any Juggalo listeners to this show, and I want to know what starter they enjoy. So please, like, tweet me.
They're
at
down with the
Travis
Popplio. They're down with the
Down.
Popplio.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I
that's
want to
fair.
know for sure.
The next, this kind of just carries the conversation a little further. I saw a lot on Twitter that like people weren't feeling these starters. Not a lot, but you know, it stands out when somebody's like, oh, like I don't like any of these starters, or like we can go back to Popplio and go, oh, like I hate Popplio's design. Like I've been asked that question at like live shows, like which Pokemon do you not like, and that's very hard for me to answer because I don't know. I like all, like if I was to pick, it'd probably be Basculin because I know the history of Basculin. I know Basculin was only created because they needed more water Pokemon, and that frustrates me because I want to believe that Pokemon puts a lot of thought in all their Pokemon, but we know Basculin had zero thought, and it frustrates me. So yes, I dislike Basculin, but I don't know, like it's hard for me to dislike any of these Pokemon. It's hard for me to dislike like Chikorita, even though like Chikorita's not my favorite. But what are your guys' thoughts?
I actually saw the opposite on Twitter. I saw a lot of people saying, man, I haven't liked all three starters in a long time, and I think all three of these look really good. And that like people are super excited that it's kind of a solid core for this new game.
It's hard for me to like. It's difficult to judge from this group what the feel of Pokemon designs is going to be for this generation. I feel like it was Gen 5. And to some extent Gen 6 is good too, but in that sense too, but Gen 5 had a very strong design philosophy. I feel like that all of those Pokemon feel like with the exception of like Heatmore, which feels like it belongs in a different universe. Pretty much all the Gen 5 Pokemon to me feel like they belong in the same region, and I can't like put a finger on what that commonality is, but I haven't quite felt the same out of just. And I mean, I'm sure I'll change my mind when I see more Pokemon in these three, but I haven't really figured out what the common link is between. I've heard like people talk about like, oh, maybe they'll all evolve into carnival like things, like a tiger jumping through fire hoops.
Yeah, it's gonna all be all circus.
And then Rowlet with the bow tie is gonna be like a ringleader. But in terms of the design philosophy of the entire generation, it's obviously not. We're gonna have an entire generation of circus Pokemon, although that would be stellar.
Elephant Pokemon then confirmed?
Yep. Although we already have one.
We do?
Don.
I guess Don Fan. He's not like a real elephant. Like, elephants are super big.
Oh, you mean like a normal type elephant?
Yeah,
Pokemon.
like I'm thinking like Mamoswine size.
I was about to say Elefante, and then I remembered that that's a Neopet.
Speaking of Pokemon designs, and I have to agree with Travis 100%, I think Pokemon designs are heavily based on the region they are. This region, which is officially confirmed, is the Alola. Am I saying that right?
Like aloha, which you would say to welcome or say goodbye to somebody in Hawaii, except it's alola.
Alola. So it's the Alola region. Not confirmed Hawaii, but
basically
Hawaii, which now goes back to.
So it's acceptable to say Polynesia.
Yeah.
Okay. Which goes back to the one-word answer of what to expect in the next Pokemon game, which was that word was flowers. I think a Hawaii region fits that really well, since I'm assuming the media of like when you get to Hawaii, they give you flowers right away. I assume that still exists in some.
Well, they give you a lei.
Yes. That's what I'm. Yes. This is why I have you guys to back me up. We see some new characters. We see obviously our character, both, boy or girl. We see. Are you a boy or are you a girl? We see our rival, which I don't know if there's one or two, but they only show a gentleman who is of darker skin, who is your rival. Everyone's assuming, and we see somebody named Hala, and we see somebody named Kuki. Am I saying those names
Kukui.
right? Kukui.
Who's Hala?
Hala
Which
is
one
like
was
the
that
bigger
one?
guy in the yellow shirt. He's the one that throws out the three Pokeballs. The professor.
Yeah, that's like the professor. Yeah.
So a lot of people thought, what was that name?
Kukui.
Kukui. Everyone thought that was the professor because of the lab coat. Kind of has like a Professor Sycamore look. A little bit looks like a little bit like Jay Witz, if you follow Jay Witz on Twitter. But I don't think he's the professor. He also calls you cousin in one of the trailers. I think Professor Hala, which is based off a tree. It's actually based off a tree in Hawaii, if I'm not mistaken, a hala tree.
I'm not familiar with a hala tree. How is it spelled? Sounds more like a Jewish bread.
Hala. It could be the leaf on the tree, but yeah.
I mean, not that I'm an expert in all things Hawaiian, but
yeah. Let's go to our resident botanist, Will Anderson.
So if you type in hala tree in Google, it comes up with. I'm just gonna slaughter this. It comes up with the Pandarus terrestrius, whatever scientific name you want. That they are native plants in Hawaii. Hala is a choice tree for the essential native Hawaiian landscape. Female trees with the characteristics of pineapple-shaped fruit appear to be in more demand than the male trees.
Now that I look at the picture of it, yes, that is a very familiar tree.
So I think
I did not know that it was called a hala, but the scientific name for people who want to actually learn from our program is Pandanus tectorius.
there you go. It sounds like a dinosaur. So you have oak, elm, birch, juniper, sycamore, hala. Wait, I got them all. Hey, look at that.
So if you want your child to be a Pokemon professor, you have to change your last name to a tree. Why are you dancing?
Because I got all the Pokemon professor names right.
Oh,
it's the only successful thing I've done on this show so far. Safe to say that the hala is the professor, even though that's not confirmed. But he gives you his Pokemon, and his name is based off a tree. I think that's pretty set here.
And he has a stick in his belt.
He does have a stick. What was I going to say next? Let's talk about the legendaries here. 2 legendaries. The ones on the cover. We have a giant white lion that looks like it's from Power Rangers. And we have a giant purple bat that looks like it's from Bayonetta. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, that's a fair comparison.
I don't see Bayonetta in that.
Yeah, I don't know.
In the colors and the sort of long, like, spindly appendages.
I guess.
I like them both a lot. I like the sort of negative space in the... We don't know their names, right?
Yeah, no names.
I like
One's
sort of the negative...
Lion-O, the other one is Bato.
Batman. Batman. Bruce Wayne. I like sort of how the shape of the bat makes sort of cool negative space. But I know that I'm getting sun, so I have to, by virtue of that, I have to like the sun one more. So I like the lion one more.
Why are you getting sun?
Because so do you want to see like what the sky looks? Do you see how like gray and gross that is?
That's
Michigan for like most of this country for a long time.
Quick, get
no,
that
but you don't
number.
understand. West Michigan, because we're right next to Lake Michigan, it makes it such that unless it's like the middle of the summer, it's never sunny. So I need more sun in my life. So I'm buying Pokemon Sun.
I think that's a terrible reason.
I think it's the only reason that matters.
Speaking of which version you're getting, I asked that on Twitter as well, based off the new legendary Pokemon. Which version of Pokemon Sun and Moon are you getting? 434 people answered. 33% said Pokemon Sun. 29% said Pokemon Moon. 38% are feeding right into Nintendo's marketing and getting both.
Team Moon, man. Team Moon.
I mean,
I've
gotten both games before, so I've fallen into that. But as I've gotten older and less time in the world, I can only really stick to one version.
You've set aside such childish things.
Yeah, I only have time for one.
No good.
I think I'm getting Pokemon Sun. The lion looks really cool.
I'll trade you a lion. I don't know. Everybody's going to get both. It's just the one you get first that really matters, because that's the one you actually pay attention to while you're playing. But you're cheap.
You got me.
Will, you said you're getting Moon. What do you think of the designs, though, of these 2 Pokemon?
Oh, I love the bat. The bat, that's incredible. And that attack where it does, and it's like all the light beams come from the little connectors, that it's the yellow parts on the wings, and then the light beams come and they focus on the middle, and then a blast comes out from the middle of the bat. You got to watch the video frame by frame like I've done. It's real good. It's real amazing. It's almost as good. Actually, it's actually better than Oblivion Wing, and Oblivion Wing had one of my favorite attack animations of all time. So, but it's like the light comes and it like swirls in, and then it's like a blast from the center of the bat, and the bat just like looks so glorious, like rising up in this whatever that temple is where they find, because you look in the background, it's obviously like some sort of temple building, and it just like rises up and its wings spread out, and it's just like obviously this is Pokemon Moon, and it's glorious, and you have to get that one.
I feel you. I was
Except that you don't. 'Cause
Except
you're
I'm
not
getting
gonna get
Pokemon.
one.
I've committed to Pokemon Sun. The abilities, Bulbapedia has them. I actually don't know where they got them from. Maybe just from the Cora article. But Rowlet will have Overgrow, Litten will have Blaze, and Popplio will have Torrent. I think these are all standard abilities for the
Yeah.
starters. Yeah.
Mhm.
Nothing about anything else hidden wise. And that's pretty much all the news that we got. We can get to the elephant in the room of possibly this game having the elefante in the room
Where's the elephant?
of character
In
customization.
Steve's room, not yours.
Right,
Oh,
yes.
oh.
My cats are all named Elephant. The looks to be that we're going to get character customization again in these games that was first introduced in Pokemon X and Y. Now, if you look at there was 2 trailers that came out. There was an English trailer and there was a Japanese trailer. The Japanese trailer, way better. It does a lot with like playing with your emotions, which
Oh, dude, I cried. Because it reminded me when I was like 5 years old when I moved to Hawaii, and it was like so much of me going to kindergarten like halfway through the year in going from New York to Hawaii, and like having to meet new people and everything when I was just a tiny little kid, and there was no Pokemon to grease those wheels, so I was on my own, and my dad bought the wrong kind of sandals, and it's like, how many 38 years later I still remember that my dad bought the wrong kind of sandals, and I was mocked at 5 years old in kindergarten for wearing weird Jesus shoes.
oh, you got the. I don't wear sandals. Sandals not.
Now,
for me.
see, my dad being, a New Yorker for his whole life, when he went there and like called my mom and told her what to get us, he said, "Oh, everybody wears sandals in Hawaii." What he meant was everybody wears flip-flops. But the word flip-flop was not in his vocabulary.
Yeah.
But anyways, that Japanese commercial, number one, had no Japanese in it. It actually had more English in it than anything else. And it's really moving.
Yeah, it did. So the Japanese video showed pretty much your boy and your girl screen, and then it showed different skin colors. And from what I remember, it had a lot more variety in the color of the skin than X and Y did. But I could be mistaken, but I also read that it did have more variety.
Yeah, there were only 3 in X and Y.
Okay, cool. Then I watched the trailer over and over to see if that went more of an extent, because a lot of people were like, well, skin color doesn't confirm character customization. And they're right, but they're wrong, and that's okay. If in the English trailer specifically, the male protagonist is wearing a blue and white striped shirt, which, by the way, in the Japanese trailer, the little boy who is like the main star is wearing a blue and white striped shirt, which I thought was a nice touch. So the main protagonist is wearing a blue and white striped shirt. He is wearing gray pants with red pockets and red cuffs. There is one shot of the male protagonist in the English trailer who is wearing black and white striped shirt and the same pants, but the cuffs are instead lighter gray than the grayness of the pants, which confirms that the pants are, while the pants and the shirt are exactly the same, they're different colors. Now, a lot of people were like, oh, that could have just been a mistake. No, it's absolutely not a mistake. First off, that same exact scene where the boy is wearing the black and white shirt is in the Japanese trailer. The same exact scene, except in the Japanese trailer.
This is turning into like a spare change documentary.
No, this is like a conspiracy theory here.
Yeah, that's what spare change was.
Who
It was
knows?
a documentary about 9/11, right? Isn't that what spare change was?
Nobody's ever heard of.
Let me tell you about the elephant type Pokemon that's coming. So in the Japanese trailer, there is the same scene, but he's wearing the normal blue and white shirt. So I find it hard to believe that out of both trailers, that one scene there was a mistake in colors, especially when they already had that scene produced in the Japanese trailer. Which
What you're saying is jet fuel can't melt gray pants.
Oh my god, I
Yes.
was going to make that joke and you stole it from me.
100%.
How dare you?
100%. So you heard it here first. Pokemon Podcast confirming character customization.
So,
Someone's correcting me that it's called loose change, not spare change. So
No,
maybe that's what my reference
and
was.
here's where you're wrong. They just made it so that if you get the Japanese version of the game, you get a blue shirt, and if you get the English version of the game, you get a black shirt. And
it's
that's
this
it.
generation's version of Vivillon, or however you're supposed
Yep.
to say that.
Yep.
Shirts.
Whatever region you get a different color. You get the same gray pants, but they're accented a different color.
I would be so surprised if character customization was not in these games.
Yeah, the fact that, I mean, the people who are resisting the conclusion that character creation is confirmed are doing so on the pretense that it's not 100% confirmed, and like, sure, I mean, I guess that's correct.
Right. You
But
could
it's-
also make the
but I mean,
argument
but
that like Hawaii is not confirmed or Hala is not the professor, but I mean,
Right.
it's a
And-
Pokemon game. It's not that in depth.
And do you like? It would be. Game Freak and the Pokemon Company have made some interesting decisions before, but to give us character customization in Gen 6, have that be like the most hated part of Oris, the fact that it's not there anymore, and then bring it part of the way back in Gen 7, which is I mean, like, I think the ability to choose between different skin colors is probably the most important part of character customization in Pokemon, but to have just that one segment of it would be very strange.
I think people are always just going to complain because you don't have that extent of character customization that you have in, say, like a Destiny or Fallout or something like that, or Final Fantasy 14, where you can like change the nose and change the chin and change the facial hair and change.
Or in the Elder Scrolls, where you can just make a nightmare creature.
Isn't Elder Scrolls just the game where you steal things off people's tables?
Yep.
Why are we talking about that garbage?
That's the
So
one.
I mean, people are always going to be dissatisfied because, like, even Monster Hunter has more customization than you'll typically find in a Pokemon game. So
But I think that's the standard and the voice we should have as fans of the series is to demand more, right? Like, I want that character. Like, the fact that we're getting more shades of skin color is already like a super big plus. Like,
Right, and probably it is due to the fact that people were very disappointed when that didn't return in Oris.
yeah, as long as I can get haircuts, I'm fine.
you know, some people care about hair, some people care about skin color, but hopefully it has it both.
When I have my like girl character, I want to have cute outfits for her.
That's fair. I want to have the cutest of outfits for everyone. The last thing I want to talk about before we wrap, I actually didn't think this show would go so long, but you know
Cute
us.
outfits for all.
Yeah.
Wait.
And to all, a good night.
One more little thing about character customization that which you may not have noticed, but you have a full-sized trainer throughout. Like when you're walking around and in the battles, which in X and Y you kind of got the shrunk down trainer in the overworld, which is a term I can't believe I'm using. So it makes character customization that much better. You have
Yes.
full size. This is the second week in a row I'm making hamburger fingers
You
in the overworld, as opposed to a shrunk down trainer. So you get your character customization is more legit, has more value.
Yes. It looks so. We saw footage of the game. It looks like it's running the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire engine, which was based off the Black and White engine, but it actually looks slightly different which could just mean a brand new engine. I don't know why they would just change the character in the engine.
Oh no! Did you also see the way that he there's a part where he's on a path and he's running up and at an angle? Like you would never have had that in X and Y. That kind of like a curved up and angle. So that's watch the video. It's right after Kukui welcomes him to Alola, and you can see he's like running past a trainer. So he must have just had a trainer battle, and he's going up a hill. It's on a ridge. There's water on the other side, but it's definitely like a curved angular up, like up and to the left, up. Another conspiracy theory joke that you guys have.
No, it took me a second. I got the joke. All right, last thing I want to talk about is the abbreviation of Sun and Moon. I see a lot of people using capital S, lowercase u, capital M, lowercase o.
I think that's awesome.
For Sumo. No, I'm not approving of this. I'm laying down the banhammer, which the Slack community saw today.
Oh.
We don't call Diamond and Pearl Dye Pie. We don't call red, blue, and yellow red, blue, yeah. It's red, blue, yellow, R, B, Y. Diamond and Pearl is just DP. Sun and Moon, SM.
No. I can't say why that's wrong because this is a kid-friendly show.
No.
Steve, you know why this is wrong.
Let's back it up. It is not S and M. It's not
Yes, it is. It's Pokemon Sun and Moon.
It's not.
He's right.
It's not
you
D and P. It's just DP. And DP stands for a lot of bad things besides Dr. Pepper, let me tell you. I'm not saying S and M. I'm saying SM. Smooth milk. Sun and Moon. It's not red. It's not R and B and Y. It's RBY. Red, blue, yellow.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
HGSS. Heart, gold, soul, silver. It's not H and G and S and S and S and S and HGSS. Like what? I don't. This is why I'm putting on the banhammer. I don't know why people decided to put the and between S and M, because the and was never there for the first.
No, that's true.
20 Pokemon games. Like no one ever put the and between gold and silver. It was just always GS.
Sumo is clever because it's like.
It's clever.
Also a word.
But we didn't need that for any other game. Like I said, Diamond and Pearl is not DIP.
We've had to innovate before. We had no idea what to do when Black 2 and White 2 came out.
I will also, B2W2, remind our listeners that this argument is coming from a man who got angry, literally angry, because the word thunder exists when it's just the sound that lightning makes.
Yes. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
What makes a chair a chair? But
you're
especially since Travis is sitting in his bed.
Thunder.
Yeah, I don't have any chairs in this room, and there's a reason for that.
The argument was lightning makes a sound. The sound of lightning. Like that statement is valid because lightning makes a sound.
But the sound of a foot hitting the ground is a stop. Like
yes.
there's other things that happen. There's other aesthetic experiences that are purely sound that we make words for.
No, I agree. I'm just saying that it's not wrong for me to say lightning makes a sound because people correct you and they go, "You mean thunder?" Like.
Well, if anyone corrects you over something like that, they're pedants and they're annoying.
Like, you don't have to say it's lightning and thundering. You could just say it. There's lightning outside
because people actually don't say that. They say it's thunder and lightning.
Yeah, but you don't have to say it. Like thunder happens regardless of if you hear it or not.
You're preaching to the choir.
Did you just hear him talk over? I don't even know if I'm pointing at SPJ. I'm just pointing this to. Did you hear him talk over my reference to that song? Oh my God, what is the name of the song? Bohemian Rhapsody.
What? What in Bohemian Rhapsody has? Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening me, Galileo.
Oh, hey, you may have just cracked the code. Thunderbolts. thunderbolts are
Yeah.
lightning. Thunderbolts
yeah.
are lightning. They're
Yes.
not the noise.
They are very, very frightening.
A cat,
Me.
like a cat meows, a dog barks, lightning makes thunder. But to say like
My
it's
cat mews.
my only point was you don't always have to say it's lightning and thunder. Like you like yes, you see a dog, you don't have to tell me that it barks. I know that it barks. I know that lightning makes a sound, and I know that sound is thunder. So to say it's lightning and thundering is redundant because lightning makes thunder. Thunder would not exist without lightning. We're ending the show on that.
In next week's episode of It's Super Effective, we read Friedrich Nietzsche's On Truth and Falsity in their extra moral sense. Join us then.
Join us then. I think the sun and moon conversation was productive. I think we got a lot of the way. I heard that there's going to be another snippet of news, whether how big or small it is. I'm assuming it's going to be on the smaller side. That is supposed to come on Friday. So we will. Travis will be out of town, but Will and I will probably record something on Sunday as we do normally. I don't know if this will go up. No, Sumo is wrong, Greg. It's SM. SM. If you want to put the and in there, I'm not going to... I'm going to laugh, but SM is fine. DP, GS, HGSS. ORAS.
But yeah, but you don't say ORAS, you say ORAS because it's a thing you can say. So it's clear we've deviated before, and you've been
I
fine
was
with
trying to get ORs to go through. No, you don't need.
Well, yeah, because okay, so you were okay with breaking the rules then because that was clever then. Sumo is clever now.
No, Sumo is no. There's no point for the U or the O. There's just no point.
Yeah, they really are pointless.
Like if there was multiple Pokemon games that started with an S or an M.
And everybody's like, sumo is a word you can pronounce. You know what's another thing you can pronounce? Sm. You can say sm. It's the beginning of small. You say it all the time.
Bottle
annoying.
Ketchup in
Pokemon
the chat says,
sm.
I don't want kids Googling Pokemon S and M. No one puts the and in there, though. That's the point I'm trying to make. No one, when you Google Heart Gold Soul Silver, you don't Google HG and SS. You don't put the and in there. Right?
Sumo.
Like when you're searching for red, blue,
sumo
yellow,
is
you
fun
don't.
to say, and it's more fun to say than SM.
I posit this. Make it MS. Pokemon MS and just say Ms. Like it's a non-indicative of whether it's married or single.
Yeah, that's fine. That's great.
Pokemon Ms.
We can reach that compromise. It's Miss Pokemon.
Right. I mean, and X and Y is a good example. Pokemon XY. You don't put Pokemon X and Y.
Oh my
Pokemon
God.
XY. I'm just saying,
That's such a good game.
we as a community have to decide on one term. And I'm strongly behind in this election year.
You're not.
We
You're
have
clearly
to decide on one term. We cannot have multiple
We
terms.
cannot have multiple
chaos.
terms.
And the universe has decided on Pokemon Sumo,
And
and you're like,
the universe did decide on Pokemon Sumo, but there is a lot of debate of not using Sumo anymore, as decided on the ever so popular Reddit. We have r/Nintendo, r/3DS, and r/Pokemon, all now getting rid of Sumo because of the arguments I made today. I'm not saying I'm the leader behind this, but I'm just saying we've never used and in the past. We've never used second characters of a Pokemon game, as in U and O, in the past. Why are we using it now? Just because it's a fun word to say?
Yes.
Debatable.
Yeah.
Also, the only reason I'm bringing this up is because it's something to talk about. So if you guys want a shorter show, that's fine.
You were complaining about pet ants, and who has now become the ultimate pet ant?
I mean, if I didn't complain about something, this would be a pretty boring show.
No, I'd be complaining about something. So
That's true.
one of us has to have a sand in our something.
At the end of the
there's
day,
a snake in my boot.
at the end of the day, I don't really care that much. Well, I think it wraps it up for your show. If you want to follow Travis, at @TheTravisW on Twitter. If you want to follow Will, at Wash in the Sink. And if you want to follow me, at Dragging a Lake. If you missed the earlier part of the show, it will be on iTunes later this week. And we will be back to our Sunday schedule coming up on Sunday. So this has been another episode of It's Super... Wait, hold on. Messed that up. This is why we don't do these things live. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are...
Super effective.
Super Sumos! I got it in last.
Yes, you did. There's a standby button here. There we go.